Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Betrayal. This is surprisingly not a show on Hulu. It is on Disney Plus. I kind of wish it was on Hulu, so I wouldn't have had to watch it. Uh, Let me explain. This is a documentary. It's from ABC News Studios, and it's about obviously betrayal. And in this case, there's only one season on here, but it's season 2, and it's 3 episodes, and they are all connected. Each of them are about 48 minutes or so long each, and it tells a full story. I only watched the first episode. I kind of got my fill, even though I kind of want to know how it turns out. It's probably one of the darkest things that is on Disney Plus, period. This warns you up front that this is a story that talks about child sexual abuse. And it tells, over the 48 minutes that I watched, the story of a young woman who had started a family pretty young. She had a husband that she had 2 kids with, and that didn't work out. Her husband kind of got into drugs, I guess, and just didn't really... They divorced. And she found a new guy. And this new guy seemed to be a knight in shining armor, which is what the first episode is called. Knight in shining armor. He seemed perfect in every way. He was a life of the party. Her dad loved him. I don't know if it's her mom is in this or not, but either way, it's mostly an interview with the wife, Ashley. I don't say she's the wife. That is, yeah. But it shows this coming together of families, him being this great stepdad to her 2 young children, a 2-year-old girl at the time and a 5-year-old son. And eventually they have a child of their own, another daughter. And what I'm telling you now is like super compact. That is sort of my main complaint with this show is that this is a news story. This is something that should be shared, should be understood, and should be dealt with. It's informational. But I realize in this era of reality television and everything else and podcasts, and in fact, there's a podcast called Betrayal that she eventually did talk to, and I think it built into this series of the season anyway of television. And it just sort of, it tells her story of her experience of the betrayal of her husband when she finds, they don't want to call it, and I don't want to say it out loud because it could really mess up the algorithm, but child content, let's just say. Not the kind that you necessarily show in public. So, unfortunately, with the underbed of dramatic music and slowly told explanations of literally every step of their lives, and understand it's done this way in order to build an understanding of where she comes from. That she's not a strange situation. She is not an unusual anomaly. It is something that could happen to anyone, and it could be anyone. And so even in this first episode, it's not fully clear. They don't go into detail, and they're certainly not showing the pictures. But she finds this kind of stuff, this content, on her husband's hidden folder file online. And it sends her into a bit of a panic, and she gets a number of reactions from friends, family, and her in-law, particularly different reactions that lead to her just questioning everything. and her life that she had built, that she had, it's not like they hadn't had problems before. In fact, during a time when things were, this is really recent, by the way. Came out in 2023, 2024. The second season, 2024, came out this summer, I believe, was added to Disney Plus. And he was pulling apart from the family and just sort of getting into some his weird mind space, and she felt that, man, this might not be a future with him. But then the pandemic hit, and they came together as a family again. They got closer. They spent time together. It was as it was in the beginning when she fell in love with him. And then things were just, they have a nice house. The kids are growing. They're all into sports. He's coaching the football team to 2 championships. And he's got a job that eventually the owner of the job is giving him the company as he retires. It's just like everything's fallen into place. Everything's perfect. And it's not like she was out, snooping around. What's he doing on the internet? No, he asked her to set something up for her, and she went on the computer and, well, she found things. And it ended up messing everything up. My only complaint with this is just sort of antithetical to the whole nature of reality TV, which is create a dramatic underbed of music and just have her exclaim something just before they cut to black for the commercial break, and then come back and repeat that thing and just really pad out the 48 minutes. I have a feeling that this could have been just like an ABC 2020 like single episode. But again, podcasts and this kind of dramatic treatment is the way you create content on TV and the internet and things like that, for people who are tired of just general murder, crime and mysteries. So I'm not speaking out against her experience at all. She did what she had to do. And the next 2 episodes go into detail of how it's handled, how legally what goes through things. I just sort of looked at the summaries, and even her daughter, her eldest daughter, who's a teenager at this point, takes the stand. So while they do not say that anything in the first episode, I have a feeling that it's not just simply, oh, look, pictures of other kids. It hits close to home. And so I'm not making any jokes about this one. There's no fun element to it at all. But it's the kind of thing that you want to watch if you have a strong stomach. This kind of thing that upsets you, the abuse of children, it's probably something that either you should avoid or you might want to watch if you fear that this kind of thing is happening in your own life and you're afraid to take the necessary steps for fear of it ruining your life as well. This is never a easy step to take for most people. And for some, it's a visceral decision in their own minds where they just want to go, oh, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. And that's a fairly believable, logical emotion to have. So this is up in the air, honestly. I tell you, if you're going to watch this thing, for me, it was just the 48-minute grind. They're just every single detail of their lives. But again, it builds empathy and understanding of who she was and who he was, that he's not this lecherous monster. He was a good guy. And of course, the entire episode is spoken in the past tense. He was so great. She loved him. My daughter loved him. My son loved him. We had a great life. We had a great house. You kind of know where this is going. That it's not a happy ending. There's no twist. It takes a lot of time to build up to that revelation and a commercial break, and then coming back from the commercial break, even though there's no commercials, at least on my version of Disney Plus. It's still my biggest complaint. It could have been much shorter and could have gotten the same story across. I'm just impatient. When it comes to these things that are upsetting, she suffered through a lot. My suffering is nothing in comparison. I'm just saying. So, this is my most sober, and not that I've ever drank during any of these, but this is my most serious episode I think I've ever had. Check it out if you can stomach it. But hopefully we'll get something a little bit more brighter, and hopefully she and her family are able to move on and have a happy and healthy life from this. I don't know the ending of this whole arc, but hopefully they can move on and find a better life without him. I don't know. Let's check tomorrow's episode. 148. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. 148 was, as I was saying the other day, that when we had the Marvel Studios one, the 140s are mostly all Marvel Studios making of documentaries. But we have a movie for the first time in a long time. And we have a sequel, though, to a classic Disney film. Normally, this would be a bad thing because usually in that era of sequels, Disney tended to just make, hey, let's put this on VHS and just poop it out there into the universe and make a lot of money. This is not the same thing as that. This one went to theaters. Starred Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins Returns. So, yeah. This is a bummer of an episode. I realize that. I'm sorry. But, hey. Reality exists here as well. So, it's not just fantasy and fun. So, yeah. Tomorrow, hopefully a brighter story with Mary Poppins Returns on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.